Hey guys, Average Joe Arms here, and bringing you another video today on something for the Mac 9DS comp. And a lot of you guys enjoyed my last video of taking the gun apart, putting the new trigger in and all that. And I got so many questions and comments, and I appreciate y'all. I even learned some things from some people, which is awesome. So I figured why not do another one, because I was going to do this anyway. So I'll bring you guys along with me and show you the whole process again. And what I have here today is a pin kit, and it's from Dawson Precision. I had a few questions about why I went with Dawson over Atlas on some parts, and honestly guys, I really don't, I like both of them. I think they both make great parts, and I don't dislike or like one more than the other, honestly. It just always comes down to availability for me. Sometimes they're not available on one or the other, so I just get from the other. I like them both a lot. So this pin kit is very inexpensive actually, and as you can see here, you'll get some pins for the magwell and stuff like that. We're not going to be using every pin in here, but the main reason I bought this is for the safety. Well, let's show you that it's empty mag, no mag, empty gun. The safety detent right in here, it was kind of one of my few complaints. I was hitting it very easily, it was popping up, and I showed some comparison videos with the Apollo 11, how that one was very different. When I did take this apart, I ended up stretching that spring out a little bit. It helped for a little while, but then it went right back to where it was, and I was engaging the safety very easily when I would put my hand up. I know I'm not going to get into debate riding safety, not riding safety. That's up to you. Do your own thing. It's like baseball, basketball, golf. Everybody has a different way of doing it. What works for you is what works for you. I don't like to ride my safety. That's me. So, and on my other 2011s, I don't have to. I can get that grip and I don't have to worry about engaging that safety. But this one is very soft, so I'm going to change that. And I figured, oh, bright light. I figured while I'm changing it, it was part of this pin set. Why not go ahead and change out some of the pins in here, and we'll take a look at it and see how it goes from there. So I hope you guys are interested. If not, I apologize. Move on to another video. But if you're interested, we're going to change out a lot of this. Here we go, guys. Hang with me one second. We're going to take this sucker apart. Let's get the magwell off, and then we're going to take out all this good stuff here, and that's where we're going to come into a lot of the spring stuff. My happiness tray, just to catch all our little parts, just to make sure we don't lose anything. Okay, let's get rid of that. Now that that's off, let's get the magwell off. That doesn't need to be the happiness tray. And I'm going to pull the hammer back, and that was just to get the main spring out. I'm going to pull that hammer nice and easy. There's no pressure on it now that the main spring is out. So next what I'm going to do is remove the safeties, and I do have an excellent little tool for that. See, it's really flat, and what you want to do is have your safety, well, you got to have the hammer back for this, between all the way up. Oh, I got a little issue here. Let's get that straight. There we go. Between all the way up and all the way down, so you can kind of be right in the middle there. And I'm just going to get this little tool in there and just work it up and out, and that should be it. As you can see, my safety detent flew out, but it barely flew out. Last time it didn't fly out at all. So it should be under tension. It should be, if you mess up, and see, that's where your safety detent is. And when I remove the safety, holding it in, technically it should go ping across the room, which has happened to me a bunch of times. This thing barely flopped out. So I already know that that is an issue, and it's actually giving me a hard time coming out right now. I can just push on this end. That gives me a little more to grab onto. So even though I'm not going to keep that, I'm putting it in the happiness tray. So that's the left side safety. That is what you got to remove first, and then go to your right side, flip it up, pull it out. The beaver tail will be released when you do that. beaver tail pops out. Okay. We have our sear spring, which pops out. Now, while I have the sear spring out, I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, I'm back, guys. There may or may not have been something done to the sear spring. So, we're going to throw that in there. We don't need that for now. Like I said, with our pin set, this is our hammer pin, and this is our sear pin. So, those are two pins that are going to be replaced. Let's get those out. I'm going to flip the gun over, and just very easily, these should pop out. And there is my trigger pin, which pulled that out. And I'm going to pop out the sear. Nice and easy. Boom. And now my sear and disconnect should pop out in my hand. Well, my disco did, but the sear is still hiding in there somewhere. Where did you go? There it is. That's your sear. So, I'm not going to bore you guys with cleaning it, so I'm going to pause it for a minute, and then I'm going to clean this stuff up a little bit. Okay, just real quick. You're not going to be able to see that too good down there, but if you see here, we're going to put both of these end to end, and look how much longer this one is. So I'm really pretty sure that's going to fix my problem with the safety, so that's pretty awesome. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got everything cleaned up a little bit. I forgot to do the hammer, but I decided not to do the mainspring and replace that because I did that in the last video anyway, and there's no sense of taking that back down. But like, there's a pin in here, it comes with that too, and I'm not going to replace that either. This pin works very good, and like I said, most of this is not even needed. It was just because I wanted that safety plunger, but while I had it apart, I figured, why not, right? So let's start putting it back together. And what we're going to do first is we're going to get that's our new sear pin, and that's our new hammer pin. Okay, so we're going to have to get the sear and the disconnect in first. Okay, all right guys, so you're going to get your disconnector back together, your disconnector and your sear. They're going to sit like that. Now this part is kind of difficult for me because I have rather large hands and fingers, so this part kind of sucks. I mess it up a lot, but what I'm going to do is stick it on my finger flat like that, and I'm going to send it right up into the back of the gun and put that disconnector up in the hole. My other video will show you guys a lot better, but since we're just really kind of talking about the pins today, I'm not going to go too much into this, but you want to make sure it's sitting on your trigger bar good. I'm going to get my pin and go in from the right, and that's how I'm going to set up to put the pin back in. So let's see, gonna need some more hands for this. Like I said, your fingers might fit in there a lot better than mine. See, I got a finger in there, and that's how I'm gonna move it around. And I'm gonna line up the hole on the sear first, because that goes on the outside of the disconnect. So it's not always the easiest part, like I said, especially for me. I want to look down in there, and I can see it needs to go that way a little bit. So what I'm going to do is get my little thing in there, and I'm going to start adjusting from the inside and pushing out. And now I'm through the sear, and through that, make sure the trigger bar is on there good. Yep. And I'm going to take my new sear pin and just slide it in from this side, and hopefully that should line up good. And it's pushing out this, so it's lined up pretty good. Making sure it's in there nice and flush, no problems. We're going to get our hammer in there, and I'm going to get the punch lined up. Like I said, normally you don't got to do this. And then when I line this up, I'm lining it up with the punch, and just give it a little bit of adjustment. Come on. Oh, see? Punch the punch right out. Okay. So now our hammer's back in, and our hammer strut is right here. Okay. Oh, got to pull trigger. Get that hammer back up. Okay. Make sure everything looks good. Okay. So our next step is to get our sear spring, which I thought I threw in here. Yep. Okay. And push the hammer up. Get that strut out of the way. Get your little hole there. You're gonna get the edge of that in there. And hopefully it clicks in good. Yep, like that. Make sure all 3 fingers are in the right spot. Yeah, we look good. And if you haven't watched my other video, I will mention what I like to do at this point is to get my mainspring and just put it in a little bit, and that's going to help hold that sear spring in there. Camel. Not all the way, of course, because we're not ready for that. But also at this point too, you can check, make sure everything's working here. You can even pull your hammer back a little bit, make sure that when you pull it, it goes up. So you're making sure all your internals are working. That's great. Okay, so now we're going to go for our beaver tail. And I'm going to get that hammer strut out a little because I want to make sure that it lines up right in the middle. Okay. Yeah, everything looking good so far. Got to get that strut in now. Okay, so we're pushed down now. We got pressure on it and we're holding it. And remember, our safeties are what's going to hold that beaver tail in. So we're going to start with the right side safety. And we're going to just get that in there. And remember, we're going to slide it down in. That's not going to go anywhere. Now we're going to put in our safety plunger. That end goes in first. And that's the detent. That side's the detent for your slide lock. So, okay. Now this is going to be the difficult part, especially now that we have such a strong detent. What we're going to do is we're going to start and get our safety in the right hole. Remember, you want to be halfway between, so you're going to have to push this back now. Make sure it's there. All right. Now, I'm going to loosen that real quick. My safety is jammed in there for some reason. I think it's in the right spot, which is good. Okay. Now this is where the flat thing comes in handy. You're going to slide that in there and slide that detent back as you push down on your safeties. And just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to release that hammer back up so it's easier to get this mainspring in. Okay, mainspring's in. We're going to have to get that mag well on there. So we can put, now if you want, you could always put the pin in and then put the mag well on later. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be okay here. So we're just going to put front on first. I'm still holding pressure on the beaver tail because the mainspring's not in yet. And what I want to do is slide the round end in. Once I get that in, I can feel a little more comfortable releasing pressure. Now, I'm not going to set that, but it's in. So now I can pull the trigger or pull the hammer back to make sure everything's okay. Okay, I'm not going to pull the trigger yet because I don't want it banging on the slide. But, oh yeah. That's so much better. So much better. Okay, I'm really happy with that. And I released the hammer. So, pretty much, we're done here. What I'm going to do is push that pin back in a little bit. And of course, you know, I'm always losing my tools. Oh, I think I dropped it on the ground. My punch, but we'll just use this. It's fine. We're just setting it. There we go. Don't want to go too far because I don't want it to protrude from the other side. Okay, so magwell's perfect. Okay, let's get the slide back on there. I cleaned everything but the slide, and man, is this sucker filthy. But hey, we use our guns, right? All right, gonna line it up. Let's get our slide lock started. And Oh, I can already tell that detent. When I used to put this, see that detent comes out this way too. It's a lot stronger than it was. That's okay. I'd rather have it a little too tight than too loose. That's what she said. Okay. Okay, functions that way. Now we're going to check our safeties. With the grip safety down, we still have safety. Now we're going to turn it off and try it without the beaver tail. Okay, we still have safety. I'm going to push the beaver tail. Operating. So you want to make sure you're checking all your safety functions, making sure everything works good. So anyway, guys, that's about it. That wasn't a complete pin set, like I said, but we did replace the hammer pin, the sear pin, and we replaced the safety detent, which was the main reason for doing all this, was the safety detent, and I'm very, very happy about that. Very excited. That was something that was really frustrating me, and it was an easy fix. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know down below. Thank you for all the tips and stuff on my last one. I take them to heart, and I appreciate them. And let me know if you guys want to see any more of this, what you might want to see differently, and stuff like that. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe and take care of each other. Average Joe Arms.